What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a new week. That means a new episode right here live of Shuukan, TokuNet. How's everybody doing this week? I'm actually joined by one of my favorite people on the Tokusatsu network, Mr. Tom Constantine. Tom, how are you?
Hello. How is everyone doing today?
Yeah, so we'll be tuning into the chat. We'll be hanging out, but yeah, I'm so excited you're here. I know when we first started the show, what did we do it at, like 2 p.m. PST? Was like 4 a.m. Japan time for you?
4 a.m. Yes, this is the very first time ever I've done it, and I'm quite nervous, so please be nice to us in the comments.
Be gentle. It'll be fine. Hey, thank you so much, King of Fantasy, for that dollar. Awesome.
Ooh, thank you very much.
So we've had a pretty good week so far. We've had some interesting stuff that has come up. You want to jump into it?
Oh, you go first.
Okay, cool. Let's start off with our first news story for the week on June 23rd. And it looks like, since we're doing this through our Tokusatsu network, we have Malinus, who also just jumped on with us. Feel free to say hi, Malinus. Oh, well, he's shy too. All right, let's hop into it. So our first story for the week, pre-sales for Kamen Rider Super Sentai Summer Movie are at a 5-year high. So according to early reports, pre-sale tickets for the upcoming annual Kamen Rider and Super Sentai Summer Movie releases are the highest that they've been in 5 years. When compiling for 2 days of sales from this past weekend for June 16th and 17th, 17,900 tickets have already been sold. Oh my gosh. Based on the current numbers, this put the films on track for a big release, with the increase of about 191.2% from last summer's double release of X-Aid True Ending and Uchu Sentai Q Ranger the movie Counterattack of the Geth Invader. Looks like the current ticket sales do outdo the previous record of 17,680 held by the combination release of Wizard in Magic Land and Koyuger Gaburincho of Music back in 2013, which went on to make about 1.2 billion yen. Yeah, wow, that's actually a really good indicator.
Yeah, the movies have been doing pretty well recently, because there was quite a big slump for a few years where the ticket sales were pretty much the worst they'd ever been. I think the Kamen Rider Ichigo movie, the Ghost kind of, they didn't do a Tyson that year, but they did Kamen Rider Ichigo, where Fujioka came back.
Yeah,
and that is the worst ticket sales for any Rider movie ever.
Is that just because of the series itself maybe is underperforming a bit, or do you think that it's just something that they did differently those years to promote the ticket sales?
I think it's maybe a bit of fatigue. People were getting a bit bored of the format of the Tysons. But it was really good. The Heisei Generation's final movie is the first movie to get past $10 billion US in something like 6-7 years. So yeah, the movies are doing pretty well at the moment, which is good for everybody. Yeah, it's good. It's good to kind of keep morale up too for the cast and crew, that what they're working on will hopefully be seen by more and more people as they continue moving forward, which I think is the big thing. All right, let's move on. The Ultraman anime to utilize motion capture for their new animation. So for the upcoming anime adaptation of, do you know how to pronounce these names? So we got Ichi Shimizu. Did I say that right? I can't see the list of the names.
Oh, it should be on.
Give it a go.
Yeah, it's like Iichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimaguchi. Ultraman manga. This series will be made using 3D animation. However, co-directors Shinji Aramaki. What's up, Malinus? Hey, welcome. Who did Batman Ninja, and Kenji Kamayama, who did Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, have spoken about non-stopping there to bring the story to life. So, speaking as guests at Anime Next in Atlantic City, the directors revealed via footage they brought with them that rather than going frame by frame for the shots, motion capture is being utilized for an added layer of realism, much like a video game. So the suit actors will have their motions recorded for both dramatic and fight sequences, with voice acting added on top to blend together for the finished product. The motion capture is being done with Motion Builder and the texture additions, and smaller motions will be added in a program called Maya, which I'm actually versed with. I studied that when I went to school. The plot of the series is a continuation of the story told in the original Subaraya Ultraman series. Subaraya.
You were doing well up until that point.
Every time. Albeit set in a different timeline. The story follows Shinjiro Hayata, son of the original Ultraman host, Shin Hayata, as he discovers the power he inherited from his father, as well as the responsibility of the mantle that comes with Ultraman and defending Earth from the alien threats. So, yeah, this is, I think, set to debut in 2019. If they are just talking about it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Have you read the manga?
Personally, no, I have not. Have you?
Yes. It's great. I recommend that everybody read it. It's available in English.
It's the one that's just called Ultraman, right?
Yeah, it's just called Ultraman. And yeah, it's really fantastic. Every volume sort of addresses a new Ultraman.
Ooh,
the first volume
cool.
is like the son, sort of little bit spoilers. He dons the suit and fights one alien, and then the second volume, he's introduced to this world where it's Men in Black, but the Men in Black are Ultramen.
That's not bad.
And yeah, it's set after the first series and just ignores any continuality after that point.
Well, that's great, because I've only seen the first series of Ultraman. So it's perfect for me to jump on in entirety.
Topic.
I've seen some Geed and some other stuff, but in entirety, I've only seen the first season.
So yeah, at the end of the original Ultraman, he loses his powers and Ultraman leaves, and so he has a son, and the son has Ultraman-like powers.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he gets a suit, and then they do introduce like Ultra 7, Jack, and a bunch of the other guys wearing very similar suits. But yeah, it's really good. And as they're using motion capture for this, they did it well. We didn't do it exactly the same, but for the most recent Garo anime, Garo Vanishing Line.
Okay, yeah.
They got the suit actor for Garo, who's Sanshiro Wada, who's been doing the suit acting since Makai Senki, maybe. He's been doing Garo, and they got him and another regular stunt actor for Garo, and they got the action director Makoto Yokoyama to record a fight scene, which then they sort of rotoscoped into the Garo anime. So it's not quite the same, but it's pretty awesome.
So this is kind of like the progression of that to...
Yeah.
Gotcha. God, I love having you and Malinus on here, because you guys just like supplement everything with even more information like that, and pretty sure our viewers at home love that too. By the way, thank you everybody for tuning in. If this is your first time, if this is your first time with us, at the top of the stream you'll see "Ask Us a Question." That link is actually down in the below. We'll have a segment later where we'll answer questions. So if there's anything you want to know from Tom, Malinus, or myself, or just any question you have on Tokusatsu, put it in there. Maybe we might answer it, might go over it. But yeah.
Don't be afraid if it's your first time. It's my first time as well, and I'm nervous.
I think you're doing great so far. That was a good addition.
Thank you, Scott.
Jeff is in the comments cheering you on. So this is good. Let's keep going.
Thanks, Jeff.
So Gokaiger's Tohru Furuya to appear at Anime New York City. So on June 21st, Anime NYC announced that they will be welcoming the veteran voice actor. Is it Tohru Furuya?
Yes, you did quite well for that, yeah.
Okay, Furuya.
Tohru, yeah.
Tohru, okay. So there's more of like a distinct
old Kamen Rider Ichigo.
It's
like To. Yeah, it's that kind of To.
Gotcha. Tohru. Oh no, that's how I'm always going to think about it now, thanks. This will be his first New York City appearance. He's best known as the voice of Aka Red in Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, but has appeared in other tokusatsu works over the years, as he initially voiced Aka Red in Gogo Sentai Bokaiger versus the Super Sentai movie, stepping in as the voice for Maji Red and Gao Red as well. He also appeared in the second season of Hikonin Sentai Akiba Ranger as Prism Ace. That was one of my favorite little cameos. Akiba Rangers, it's the show that keeps on giving. In the mainstream, Furuya is most notable as the voice of Tuxedo Mask in Sailor Moon, Yamcha in Dragon Ball, and Amuro Ray in Mobile Suit Gundam. So this event, if you guys are in the New York City area, will be held November 16th through the 18th this year. He will appear on Friday and Saturday of the event, and he will participate in events as well as an autograph signing, though no schedule as of right now have been released yet. Tuxedo Mask. Can I have like a little personal story real quick?
Sure.
My girlfriend, she cosplays from like Sailor Moon stuff, and I was like, I should cosplay Tuxedo Mask, and she's like, no, please don't. So...
I mean, no, please don't shatter the illusion, or I'll fall madly in love with you, don't.
No, she doesn't actually like do Moon. She's one of the other scouts. So she's like, don't do Tuxedo Mask.
No, unless she's doing Sailor Moon, then yeah.
I'm like, but it's
unless
like...
she's doing like Chibi Moon, and then you're Tuxedo Mask, and it's that kind of weird relationship that they have. But I don't know how much of a manga you've read.
None. I'm still pretty new to it too. That and Ultraman, I guess I need to catch up on. But
yes, you need to watch Ultraman.
I mean, Tuxedo Mask. If you're going by the Japanese title, I'm halfway to Kamen Rider, so because it's like.
I don't know if you can hear me, but that's me groaning.
Oh man. Yeah. Have you met this guy? Do you?
No.
No? Okay.
I've met like 2 voice actors, or maybe I've met more and just don't recognize them.
That's usually the case. You're usually the first person I turn to if I'm like, have you met this person? Do you know anything about them? So you're usually a pretty good gauge on that. But
I have no idea.
Awesome. Malinus, what area of the United States do you live in? Are you...
I'm not saying on the show.
I was going to say, I wonder, because I know like some of our East Coast crew might be able to go to this. So I'm just trying to like put that out there if anybody else is out in that area to head there this November. There'll be more guests. I'm pretty sure that they're going to announce moving closer to that. But let's move on. The new Engine Sentai Go Onjur 10 years after Grand Prix trailer and merch. So earlier this week, there was a new trailer that was uploaded for the anniversary movie 10 years later Grand Prix. Did I say Prix just a second ago? I feel like I did. As previously announced, the returning cast for the movie is literally the entire cast of the original 7 from Go On Red through Silver, as well as Nao Okiawa as the water pollution minister Kaguresha. Additionally, the voices of the Engine Souls are set to reprise their characters as well. Also featured in this movie will be Yu Kamio, who was in Kamen Rider Amazons, as well as Ultraman X, and Satoshi Jimbo, who was in Kamen Rider Fourze. I almost said who was Kamen Rider Fourze, and that's not right at all. In new roles for this movie. The film marks the 3rd anniversary movie set a decade after the initial run of the corresponding Super Sentai series, following the success of the other previous movie installments like Ninpu Sentai Hurricaneger, as well as Keisatsu Sentai Deca Ranger 10 years after. So the Go Onjurs are set to return on DVD and Blu-ray this fall, September 26th. So in honor of the upcoming movie as well, they, I believe this is on Premium Bandai, they released a shirt that features the movie logo on the front with the team's numbered designs on the back. And it comes in sizes from small to XL and retails for about 3,240 Japanese yen. And reservations are currently open. It looks like it'll close in August for the shipment. So... For some of our bigger viewers out there too, this kind of sucks just because XL size in Japan is a medium or a large at best here.
Yeah, I have to buy an XL.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go for like a large or XL myself too. Like, I have a friend who was like super excited about this, and then like when we looked into it more and like when we posted the article, he was like, well, so much for that. But no, I love Go Wancher. You guys know what?
I was gonna say shopping in Japan for clothes is frustrating.
You got to get two and then like combine them together.
Yeah.
Frankenstein
like
it.
Yeah, they make an XXL.
But
so you're a big fan of Go Wancher. You've talked about that quite a lot.
I love Go Wancher. I like this design a lot. I don't know how I feel about it on the front. I would definitely want it maybe like a pocket, like a breast pocket one with the numbers on the back. Or it would be really cool if they sold 12 individual shirts that each had a different number on it with the 10 years later underneath. Because then you could get like a red one.
12 different shirts.
I just want number 7, okay? He was my favorite. I just want to go on my gold shirt and be done with it.
Are you looking forward to the movie itself?
I am, yes. I actually have not watched the trailer. I've only skimmed over the stuff. I don't want to be spoiled. I really like it if I don't do that. Like, because when I watch my Sentai, Kamen Rider, I'll watch the next time's on just because I know people are crazy and they'll spoil it online. But like usually Sentai, if it's nothing too big of a reveal, if I don't watch the next time on, it's like a whole, like it's fresh. So that's how I want to go into this, because I know nobody online likes Go Wancher as much as I do, and they'll spoil it for me. So I'm good there. Speaking of movies, what? Sorry, cut you off.
That's fair.
Speaking of movies, we got the Uchu Sentai Q-Ranger versus Space Squad DVD set to pre-sale at the screening. So the Blu-ray plus DVD set for the upcoming Uchu Sentai Q-Ranger versus Space Squad has been announced as a product that will be available at its theatrical screening on June 30th, priced at 6,500 Japanese yen. So this set includes the exclusive piece of artwork as shown here in portion by Kei Suke, and the character designer for Q-Ranger. It will be included in the form of 2 postcards, forming the one image, along with a 3rd postcard depicting the movie's poster. You can see that full image over on the Tokusatsu Network site. But Tom,
beautiful image.
It is. It's really good. You saw this movie, haven't you?
I watched it already. Yeah, there was an advanced screening.
I'm so jealous. I'm sure a lot of people at home are jealous because we're gonna have to wait 6 months to see it.
You don't need to wait that long actually, because this Saturday it comes out at cinemas. Usually with these kind of movies they only come out like a week, 2 weeks. It's just a short limited run, and then the actual DVD comes out August, the middle of August. I forget the specific day. So you don't have to wait that long.
Okay, because like back. Oh, sorry, Malin. What?
Since there's going to be like a DVD set at the theater, you can kind of imagine that if the stars align right, that might get sold pretty quickly.
I just remember like being super salty back in the day of like watching Kamen Rider Double. No, actually it was Decade that kind of broke the camel's back, where the last episode of Decade was like, come see the finale of the show 4 months later in theaters. And I was like, cool, I guess I won't see this till next year. But
yeah.
So thoughts?
I enjoyed it. It's only 1 hour. It's not quite like the Space Squad versus Deca Ranger, where that was like a whole proper
like an hour and
40
half
movie.
Yeah,
it was a big movie. This is only about an hour long, so it's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit tighter. It's Koichi Sakamoto's directing and action directing, so the action is as good as
I love all of his work.
Any of the others.
Yeah,
and it is very good here. There's a couple of, if you watch the trailer, there's a fight of, I think it's Yellow and Pink fighting in a corridor, which has one of my, like after watching the film, I think I actually bumped into the Sue actor, and I was like, that move is so freaking cool. What he did. But I don't want to spoil it, but you watch it.
Awesome.
The action's awesome in it. Also, Iwanaga's in there. He's a personal favorite of mine. And,
I know we talked about that. What was that last night?
we talked about that last night. Yeah. He's kicked me before on purpose. In
awesome.
A TV show. I was very happy about that.
Oh, you got to write a book sometime, Tom. At the end of this,
Well, you could watch it if you watch the new Mob Psycho TV show, episode 1, the first minute, you can watch it happen.
Is that worldwide Netflix?
It's worldwide Netflix now.
So if you guys want to watch Tom get kicked, Mob Psycho, is it Mob Psycho 100 or just Mob Psycho?
Mob Psycho 100.
Okay, on Netflix.
It's a live action thing, so it's pretty easy to find, I bet.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, you know what time it is? It's time for our favorite segment. Who's that Shukuman? So, in light of the upcoming movie of Q Ranger versus Space Squad, who's that Shukuman?
It's Momotaro's. I don't actually have the video on screen.
Malinus, you weren't supposed to spoil that. No. You guys want to answer some questions? Hey, we got Karn in the chat. What's up, Karn? Here, let's do an easy one. Who wants to start this first before I even present the question? Who wants to go first? Never mind. How did you get into Toku?
Vangelis.
Would you
the YouTuber?
Oh, I thought you said you were like the religion or
No. No, he's like a YouTuber who does a lot of Transformers stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's super big in the Transformers fandom.
Okay.
Yeah, and he started reviewing Kamen Rider stuff. I think the Motion Revive figures.
Oh, interesting. So that's how you kind of got first introduced to it and sort of like were like, I like this.
Yeah.
And then kept going in. What was your first series that you watched following
Kabuto.
that? Kabuto. Okay. Was that the one at the time or was that like one that just kind of hooked you when you got into it?
I actually asked him about it, and he, at the time, I think Decade was going on, and he basically just said Kabuto is a good first entry. And that was before Double.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're going like pre-Decade, because Decade was my first Kamen Rider series, because it was on at the time. It had like 3 episodes before it was over, and I jumped into that, and I was confused as hell.
Well, even if you had watched up until that point, you still would have been confused.
This is very true. But like trying to go back and rewatch the show, because I think I moved on to Kiva, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this little kid like beat up some monsters some more, and then it was like, not the little kid, and I was like, I don't even know what's going on with this right now. But cool, yeah, Kabuto is a pretty good first if Double wasn't a thing. Tom, what about you? How did you get into Toku?
I have been watching since Fies every week, so that's 16 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a while. 15, yeah. I randomly stumbled onto some clips of Die Ranger on the YouTubes or whatever streaming sites there were back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Video, maybe?
MySpace video.
Yeah, Vimeo, all that kind of stuff.
Ooh.
Oh, MySpace video, gee, could have been one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just from there, I remember just kind of like looking for more of it. But I watched the first episode of Kamen Rider Fies, not knowing that it was a superhero drama.
Mm-hmm.
So when monsters started appearing and killing everyone, I was like, this isn't a J drama.
Oh, you just thought it was like a regular like high school drama or something?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was just like an on the road movie or something. But
oh man, I called dibs on this idea. I'm gonna like recut season of like Kamen Rider so that it's just a drama with no monsters.
I remember somebody back when Kiva was airing, they re-edited the entire show so it was just Ixa.
Oh no!
Like,
I remember
from
that.
The 80s.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember that. Like it's like he's the main rider, and they even gave him like an intro and everything too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good effort.
And you guys all know that I first got into it because of a YouTube video, because I used to watch Power Rangers religiously, and once it got to Jungle Fury and they used sunglasses, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I found a YouTube video because I wanted to see if the show got better, because it only had like 2 episodes out, and I found someone comparing Jungle Fury to Geki Ranger, and I was like, whoa, this looks way cooler. And then I think I found again like a Vimeo of someone uploaded like the entire season of Geki Ranger, and I watched that over the course of like a week, and it was just, I was hooked. Then I got into Kamen Rider eventually because Shikanger had the team up with Decade, and I was like, what is this? And yeah, the rest is history. Yeah, and there was another question that I just saw that was like, what is the best Kamen Rider season to start someone off with?
Oh, the age-old question. age-old question. Sorry, it's very early here in Japan. I'm not quite awake yet.
No worries. Do you have any ones that you want to weigh in with?
I'd say Kabuto is pretty good because the suits are
they're clean. They're nice. Yeah.
They're less extravagant than some others, shall we say?
It's a good jumping off point because they're not too crazy. Like X-Aid is really crazy that like when you try to watch anything else, it's not the same. Like I feel like it homaged a lot of like the previous writers before it too, with Kabuto.
You know, I was just debating this, but I guess Kabuto is a good one because it's also kind of a sampler of the type of tones that you would get in these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like it shows you what they can do when they're epic, when they're dramatic, when they're ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It prepares you.
What wouldn't I recommend? That's a question that I sometimes think. I would never recommend Hibiki.
That is a question that I just saw and I scrolled past because I didn't know if we wanted to touch that. But if we were jumping into it, yeah, Hibiki, definitely.
A lot of people say, what would you recommend? And I always think, well, narrow it down first. What wouldn't you recommend?
Mm-hmm.
Hibiki I would never recommend. Decade, sort of, I wouldn't recommend. Like, I never recommend Gokaija.
I knew someone who got into Kamen Rider through Decade just because they wanted to see a little bit of every series to figure out which one to start with.
It kind of worked like that for me. That's why I jumped into Kiva, because I was like, I love the music aspect, I love the vampire, and like just the design of Kiva. Like it still to this day speaks to me at some weird subconscious level.
Mm.
I think when it comes to ones I wouldn't recommend, it would be anything that's a little bit too out there, like X8 or Forza.
Yeah.
Although I do know someone who got into Forza as their first show, so
Forza is not the worst. I think Forza is like the epitome of like the character depth that you can go on a range from like really good development to like Shun's character who has like he goes from like the idiot jerk jock to like one of the best people on the team to people that have like literally an episode of character development like who was the goth girl?
Tomoko.
Yeah, she was literally a witch for 2 episodes, and then they never talk about that again. Like, it's a really funny range that you can literally have an entire cast of the best sort of development and sort of the worst sort of development in the show, just to kind of set the bar for you.
It's like a Sentai team, basically.
Yeah. I wouldn't. As you guys know, on my channel, I do like the honest, or not the honest. No, that's so old. I do like the how to adapt stuff, and at the end of the last episode I just posted, I posed the question, what should I do next? And if I did a Kamen Rider, what Kamen Rider should I do next? And literally half the people have been saying X8, and I don't think X8 would be a good one to start with. Just
Pink Hero wouldn't sell.
What was that?
Pink Hero wouldn't sell.
Well, I mean, the designs are so crazy. It's like if people really liked it, which I could see them liking it, it's hard to move on because then you get to like a really clean looking suit like builds, and it's just like people wouldn't like it because it's too modernized or it looks too different, you know what I mean? So that's like my biggest problem. Here's a good one. Do you guys think Kamen Rider will ever do a 10 years after, kind of like having Super Sentai does? Also, Uchu Kita from Van the Tokuman. I like your name, dude.
You know, at a very important dinner once, we were talking about Forza with some important people, and I think they brought out, it was like a kind of a frying kind of restaurant, and they brought out bacon and cheese, and I shouted really loudly, "Bacon kita," finding it very funny. Nobody else at the table smiled, and I was like, just hide in this corner. Quiet, shut up, Tom. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Was it just like a regular? No, that's the best answer.
10 years later, we sort of had one with Blade. They did a drama CD like 10 years later, but it wasn't called 10 years later. It was just they did it 10 years later, and they also appeared in Tyson GP, like Sango movie.
I think we technically just had Heisei Generations too. That is the same thing because Kamen Rider is like one person, you know, if you don't count the other riders that will come in and trickle into the show. Like,
but this is less of a crossover and more like, what if we just made basically a new movie?
Like Forza, and it follows Gentaro as just a teacher for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice, but I think with Rider actors, they have a tendency to become more popular than the Sentai actors. So Heisei Generations, you can clearly tell that they got Gakko Sano Gakko, Japanese name is, I forget which is which. If you watch Heisei Generations, find it, you can see that they clearly had him for one day of filming because he's on that bridge.
And that's all.
That's it. Yeah. And you see him like a little bit of somewhere else where they clearly just driven down the road a little bit. And
that's
just
all they can afford.
There. Yeah. Not so much afford, but like actors' schedule and all that kind of stuff. The fact they got Fukushi Soda to come back is still mind-blowing to me. But again, they only had him for like a day because he would have just been at the school filmed. So to have them for like 10 days straight, Toei probably wouldn't pay that amount of money.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of sale to it too. Like if you do a Fourze movie, like the appeal is all of these past writers teaming up with the new ones, so you get to see them hang out and be friends and like step over each other's lines. And like, yeah, I don't know.
I was talking recently, I don't know where I was talking, I want to say it was just in our chat, but I was talking about how I would like to see Rider 10 years later, but I would also prefer if they kind of bump that number up a little bit to go further back. It's like maybe 15 years later. Because at this point, 10 years later would either apply to Kiva or Decade.
Well, I mean, yeah, we did have the Kyoryuger 100 years after. Like, what if they did like a series like Build, but it's like an extensive amount of time forward? What about that?
Oh, too soon.
Yeah,
isn't even
too
over
soon.
yet. I mean, technically, the summer movie is kind of doing that since it's post finale and it's airing during the show's run.
That's true. I was scrolling up in chat for our Shukuman, and a bunch of people got this. They were absolutely right. Tom, who is this?
I don't know. Who is this squall?
Jiraiya.
Is it Jiraiya?
Is that how you say it? How do you say it? I wasn't sure how to say it, so I was kind of.
You wanted me to say it because you couldn't, right?
I didn't want to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Jiraiya. Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, he makes a. How big is his presence in the movie? It's just a little cameo, right? Without spoiling it.
Let me next Saturday when it comes out the cinemas, I'll spoil anything people want.
Cool. Are you gonna join us next week, both of you guys? You can spoil the whole movie for everybody on stream after hours. We'll do an after hours stream where Tom just talks for 20 minutes about the movie.
I could do that.
You have to set it up like a super professionally. Like we'll just switch the camera over to you and you're just like Burt Reynoldsing in front of a fireplace. You just reminisce from the movie that you just saw.
Yeah, have a little glass of scotch.
Brandy or scotch, yeah. All right, let's finish this off. So, some of the things that you should be looking to buy coming up. We've had the Premium Bandai to release the SH Figuarts Silver Knight Zero. So, this is from... He was seen in Garo Season 1, right? Oh, yeah, Rei Fujita.
Yes.
So, yeah. This was last seen in 2017's Zero Dragon Blood spinoff. Pre-orders are now up. It looks like it's going for 9,990 yen and is scheduled for release in November. As well as the SH Figuart Premium Bandai has announced Gyudon. Is that how you say him? Gyudon? From the Return of Ultraman, known as Ultraman Jack. He's a prehistoric kaiju that preyed upon Twin Tail. So when the Twin Tail egg was discovered and hatched, Gyudon appeared, promoting a three-way battle between the two monsters and Ultraman Jack in the episodes of 5 and 6 back in the 1971 series, The Return of Ultraman. Yeah, looks like this one comes out December this year for 7,560 Japanese yen. Exactly, what is a Gyudon? Oh, man. So those are the stuff that you should be buying and looking at adding to your collection later this year. That was released and announced this week. So, last thoughts on anything we talked about, guys?
I've seen the Zero figure arts up close because they've got a special 1 month cafe, a Garo-themed cafe, in Harajuku.
Ooh, can I show this on stream real quick?
If you can, I sent you the link, but I don't know how this technology works.
I can do this. So if you guys will just...
If you look at my picture in the corner, like there's the Garo suit. That's the one from Goldstorm.
Here, let me do that. There we go.
But they've got like a bunch of the other stuff, and they've got the Garo and the Zero figure arts on show as well.
Those
and
are
they
fancy.
are hella pretty.
Yeah.
Crazy. The detail and stuff on them is insane.
I like how chrome that is.
Can you guys... There we go. Okay, I was just watching the stream. It's so behind on my end that I'm like, did it actually show up? Am I just seeing things? But yeah. Ooh, those do look really nice. Good additions to your collection.
Yeah, if you're a Garo fan, pick those up.
Yeah, definitely. Again, everybody that's still here, everyone that always stays in, tunes in till the very last minute, I want to thank you as always for watching Shuukan TokuNet every week, Saturday, at the same time, same place, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for everyone on the West Coast. Thank you as always for watching, and be sure to visit our website at thetokusatsunetwork.com for more information, photos, and videos on these stories and more I maybe didn't cover. We even have another one you might want to check out coming up, so, always be sure to follow us on Twitter, on Facebook. Where else are we?
Discord.
Facebook, Twitter, and Discord.
Grindr.
No. Oh man, could you imagine matching with a website never mind. Yes, thank you for pointing out Discord. So one of the links down below in the description is our Discord. If you click on that, it'll take you to our big community Discord we just set up, and everybody's hanging out, having a good time there. We do stuff like news gets posted there. You can come hang out with me, myself, Tom, Malinus, anybody. And we also do some group watches, too. I see those popping up where we all get together on Rabbit and we watch, the episode with Gyudon. Just random fun stuff like that. But
there's themed ones as well. I think today's theme was a cat or something.
Yep. Catcher Day.
Toku Tinder. Ooh, good idea. Everyone that likes Toku. Pop it in, auto-populate. Anyway, do you guys have any last words?
I'm gonna go watch some Ultraman Orb.
Good choice. I heard that's a good one. I haven't seen it. I'm so behind on everything.
Well, you've watched an entire Ultraman, so you're ahead of me.
I watched the original one, which is probably the longest running one, because I found it in a bargain DVD bin at Walmart for like $3, and I was on a road trip, and all I had was a laptop filled with episodes of Go Onger, but it was only up to like episode 30, so I like finished that in a day. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to watch Ultraman, and I loved it. I ended up watching that, and then like Red Baron, because that was also in there. But yeah. Tom, how was the experience? Did you enjoy this?
I did enjoy it, actually. I feel a lot better. And the comments have been very nice. Everyone's quite friendly, so thank you very much for watching. If you guys want to watch more content, we've got quite a range of stuff on our YouTube channel. We've got like fact videos, interviews of different people. We just interviewed Hami from Q Danger, so you haven't watched that.
As well as Sakamoto, the director, too?
As well as the director. They talk about the movie and just Q Danger in general.
God, her English is so good.
It's so good. It
threw me off guard when you first sent it to me. I thought someone on the team overdubbed her, and I was like, what? It was really late when I first watched it. I was really confused.
Well, we didn't decide to do it in English until we got there, and Sakamoto was like, make us speak English, Tom, make us speak. And I was like, all right, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, please watch that. Also, we just did the history of Kamen Rider Kuga.
Yes.
Which is all about from Kamen Rider, sort of the whole big break
like the pre-production,
between Zo.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from like Zo, Shin, and J when those came out.
The 90s
and there was
movies.
no Kamen Rider for like 12 years. Up until Kuga, and it's all about the pre-production, how it came to screen, and it's full of lots of facts and stuff, and I spent a very long time doing it, so please watch it.
Yeah, it looks really good. If you guys don't know, Tom does the majority of our videos on the channel here, and they're amazing. If you guys haven't checked those out, you're here right now, might as well click that subscribe button. But thank you as always for tuning in to Shuukan TokuNet. I will see you guys next week. Maybe we might have Malinus and Tom back on if they want to. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. Shuukan, TokuNet, live.
Thanks, guys.
Later.